Hey there, YouTube. How's it going? Nerdy Narwhal here, and I'm back again today with something a little bit different. Today I'm going to be talking a little hobbying. Now, I just completed my very first month of painting a miniature a day, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that hobbying journey and where it started, where it's going, and what I sort of see happening with it in the future. It's been really fun, super rewarding, and I plan on keeping it up. But it's also been pretty interesting. So I'm just going to talk a little hobby time today. But first, I made an intro. All right, you guys. So at the start of this little journey, I primarily had an Astra Militarum army. My second largest army was also this Death Guard, and this is where I really started my entire hobbying journey. Back in December was with these Death Guard right here. I also do collect Skaven, although I have a ton of unbuilt models for them, and I've never actually finished painting a full Skaven miniature. And some more random AOS. And yes, some more Death Guard, Chaos, and Trench Crusade. Just tons of stuff. Like I said, my journey with tabletop wargaming and the hobby in general is really quite a new thing. I've only been doing it since December, so we're about half a year into it now. And this last month, I challenged myself to paint a mini every single day, regardless of how busy I was, what time I got home at night. Now, I work a full-time job, right? So some nights I get home 5:30, 6:30. I have a family. I'm cooking sometimes, doing chores, pretty busy. And I do have some speed painting techniques. I've learned quite a bit in my short time in the hobby, so I didn't always spend 2 to 3 hours on a miniature, but there were definitely some late nights and some crammed weekends finishing a mini every single day. And it was a pretty fun little adventure. But the adventure didn't really go any sort of direction that I thought it would. Originally, the whole idea started with these Krieg right here, and these are actually proxies, right? They're prints, and I wanted to practice my paint on them, right? GW models are pretty darn expensive, and while I've bought my fair share, and in 6 months I already have a glorious pile of shame, I thought to myself, if I can get a technique for painting these guys quickly, I can have a full army done by this summer, and I can play a game with my best bud, and it's gonna rock. That's the plan. So to go into a little bit more detail, I actually got my Krieg painting time down to 15 minutes, just 15 minutes per individual Kriegsman. And they really don't look too bad. I'm not too interested in a big, masterful display with hundreds of little Kriegsmen and, you know, everything just looking beautiful. They look pretty good. They all got the red dots in their eyes. And from 3 feet away, right, the tabletop standard, that looks all right to me. And still, in my display case, I think pretty gosh darn impressive, right? Once you see a full army done to a tabletop quality. So 15 minutes per Kriegsman. I told myself, I have no excuses not to do one of these per day, every single day until I've finished an army. But I don't remember exactly what they say about the best laid plans of mice and men. That all changed, though, with this guy right here. Now, this is not a GW original mini. This is actually an STL that I saw on the internet one day, and I thought, dang, that is just oozing with old hammer charm and character, and I would love to paint that bad boy up. So, for my very first mini of a day, before I really committed to the idea of making it the mini of the day, I started off painting this old hammer Gazgul Thraka. Love to get my hands on the original one, but at the time I wasn't super confident in my ability to paint it. Turned out all right, though. Things really spiraled out after that, though, as I found a whole bunch of orc STLs and I fell in love with almost every single one of them. As I kind of touched upon before, I'm not really in it for the gameplay so much as I'm in it just for the hobbying. I absolutely love painting. I love doing the art and mild assembling. That's what really gets me going. And I've painted a lot of things before orcs. They didn't really, right out the gate, appeal to me quite as much as Death Guard or Astra Militarum. But through the process of painting these orc guys up, I really found them the most rewarding and exciting things to paint. I don't really know if there's a faction out there that lets you play fast and loose with rules of painting and what's acceptable on a tabletop quite so much as the orcs do. So I started another army, and I'm not looking back. Now, originally, it was my goal to have the orc army be entirely 3D printed and just possibly used for casual games. If I ever wanted to do something a little bit more competitive, I have plenty of Astra Militarum that I still need to build and paint, and Death Guard that I could fall back on. But it's really not just the orc STLs that are so gosh darn fun and creative, it's the official models too. So now I've decided that I'm gonna commit to a WOG. So am I going to keep on painting a mini every single day until I have an army completed? Yes, I absolutely am. But do I know what that army's going to be? Nope, not really. Do I know when I might have an army completed? No idea. I might end up switching to Eldari, right? I might do AdMech. It just takes a little teeny tiny bit of inspiration to really get you hyped up and into a totally different faction of this hobby. And that's super great. It's super fun. But it's a long road ahead still. And the action figure side of this channel, that's not going anywhere. I'm still kit bashing, collecting, and tinkering away with all of those. But right now, miniature painting is what I've really been into. I found it to be a really therapeutic hobby, a really nice way to spend my time when I'm not sure exactly what else to do. There's not really anything stressful about it. It can be extortionately expensive, but if you lean on that 3D printer a little bit, it's not as much. So I'm going to keep at it for the foreseeable future. And I wanted to say thank you to everybody who's tuned in to a Painting a Mini a Day short so far, whether it's been one or two, whether you left a comment. Sometimes that really means quite a bit, right? If you're ever doubting your work and someone says, hey, that looks nice, especially for a new hobbyist like myself, right? Someone who's only been in it 6 months, who's already gone through tons of changes in their own style and how they approach painting. When someone says, a stranger, complete stranger on the internet, nice work, that feels great. And so thank you from me to you, everyone who's tuned in, everyone who's dropped a comment or a like. It really means a lot to me. Now, as you saw from my shelves, I have a ton more minis to paint, so I'm actually going to get on that. Look for this Wog Boss pretty soon in my shorts. But I wanted to say thank you, keep on hobbying, and if you have any suggestions, right, maybe you want to see me try to paint something up that I haven't tried yet, something that you think is really fun to do in the hobby, let me know, and maybe I'll pop that up on the channel. But until then, thanks for watching, stay happy, stay healthy, and keep on collecting. Nerdy Narwhal out.